Hey guys, WhiteFrost1225 here, and today I have a review of Rust. So, Rust is an alpha. It's an early access game on Steam, so you can buy it, but you just have to know it's an alpha. And probably as the game gets farther in development, it'll get more expensive. So, if you're interested in playing it at all, and you don't mind playing an alpha, now would be a great time to buy it. So yeah, you can buy this on Steam. It works on Macs, and you can also play it on Linux. So if you have a PC, it pretty much works on any sort of, whatever operating system you're using. They're thinking about bringing it to PlayStation, Xbox, but it's definitely not a priority. They've said they really want to get the PC version up to a finished product, and then they'll focus on bringing it out on consoles. So let's talk about what Rust basically is, and then I'll talk about what I really like about it, some things I don't like about it, and then I'll talk about who I'd recommend buying this game for. I'm not going to give it a score out of 10 just because it's an alpha, and I don't think an alpha is meant to be rated. I think an alpha is really just meant to be there so that the devs can get feedback. So I don't think rating an alpha would be right, but I will tell you guys whether or not I think you guys should buy it on Steam, what kind of players should buy it on Steam, or wait to buy it, or maybe not buy it at all. So basically, I just wanted to tell you guys about the fundamentals of Rust first. So Rust is basically a game that focuses on survival. It also heavily focuses on player interaction. So the game is just multiplayer. You can't play on a server without anyone, and I have some friends that do it, and they like to play it that way. Personally, I like playing with other people, and that's how the game really is meant to be played. But the game, like I said, it focuses on survival, player interaction, and it also really focuses on crafting. So it's kind of like Minecraft, where you have to craft everything. You get to build a house. You can build like a small house. You can build like a skyscraper. The sky is really the limit with the houses and what you can do. It's really up to you. It's sort of like Minecraft, where there's no like set house that you build. You really get to create it on your own, which is really cool. It also focuses, so with the crafting, it also focuses on gathering, because obviously you have to gather the materials. So you have to gather wood from trees, stones and ore from rocks. You also have to get like cloth and meat from hunting. You need to eat to survive. There is like a hunger bar. Also, another way to gather materials is to loot, and we'll talk about that a little later when we get into the player interactions. So you might think that gathering would be really boring, but it actually is pretty tense, because you're out in the open and there are other players in the world that can kill you and just take all your stuff. So you have to be really careful when you're gathering, and it really makes it doesn't make it boring. It's actually pretty fun. So on that topic, let's talk about the interaction with other players. So when you die, you lose everything that you have on you. There is a way to store stuff in your house, and when you die, you will spawn back at your house if you have put a sleeping bag down there. It basically acts as a spawn beacon, but you'll lose all the things you have on you. So it really makes play interaction really tense. So when you see someone, there's always this really high tension moment when you don't know if he's friendly, he doesn't know if you're friendly. It's really fun, and it really makes your life kind of more important, that when you die, you lose all your stuff. It's not a new idea, DayZ does this, the standalone of DayZ does this. A lot of survival games have done this, but it's something I really like about the genre. So let's talk about play interaction. Let's talk about looting. So obviously when you start off, you start with a rock, and you start with just some bandages, basically nothing. An easy way to get stuff is just if you break into someone's house, you can break in it by hitting their door 400 times. It does take a while, but you can do it, and then you can loot all their stuff. Now, you can prevent someone doing this to you by building a metal door that can only be opened with an explosive charge. But when you start off, you're going to be building a wooden door. So people can break in your house and steal all your stuff, and you can break into someone's house and steal all their stuff. So it really kind of makes you want to find a good place to put your house, and it really is sort of a reason to build up your defenses and make the best house you can. So when you start off, you can loot someone's house, you can just gather materials. It's really up to you. Personally, I feel too bad breaking into someone's house. When I first logged on, I was getting really frustrated because I kept getting killed, so I just broke into someone's house and stole their stuff, but I try not to do that, and I felt really bad about it. I try to be nice to other players. I'd say the community is sort of a mixed bag. Some of them will be really nice to people just starting out, and some of them will just kill on sight. It really depends on the person you're, interacting with. So other than players, there's also zombies and animals. The zombies are going to get removed soon. They said they've decided to take them out of the game, but the zombies are mostly in radiation zones, which I'll talk about later. But there are animals that some of them, like deer and like boar, they're not gonna like fight back against you. But like wolves and bears will, if they see you, will try to attack you. In terms of zombies, they'll attack you if they see you. They're pretty easy to avoid, but zombies have some really good loot on them. They usually have the best loot, so killing them is also really important to gathering things. So now let's talk about looting. So you can also find like these boxes around the world that have loot in them. You can also, like I said, kill zombies and they have some pretty good loot. So you can find things, like I said, you can also loot other players' houses. The best loot is in these radiation zones. So Rust is sort of like a post-apocalyptic game. They haven't really talked about it, but it appears it takes place after civilization has fallen. So basically, there is radiation areas. There isn't radiation everywhere, but there are these areas with lots of radiation, and they're usually places with like factories or towns have a lot of radiation, and the radiation areas always have zombies in them. But the radiation areas are the places with the best loot, so you can get things to fight the radiation, like anti-radiation pills. If you eat like tuna or chicken, it'll bring your radiation level down a little bit, but basically if your radiation level gets too high, you will start losing health and eventually you might die from it. So it's sort of, to go in those areas really quick, it probably won't kill you, but if you stay in the area, it will kill you. So if you have like anti-radiation pills, you can go in there for a little bit and get some really good loot. But if you're just starting off, it's going to be important to avoid the area. And this is pretty cool. So in order to go, loot, there's always a risk. It's not like you just wandering around and finding stuff. So I actually really like that about Rust. Now let's talk about the crafting. So the crafting is it's kind of like Minecraft actually. So you can you have to craft a house, like I said. You have to like gather wood. You can make metal by gathering certain ore from rocks and using like a furnace to make metal. And then you can build your house. So the crafting is pretty fun. You can also craft weapons, ammo. You can craft a lot of stuff. You craft armor. So yeah, crafting is pretty much a foundation of the game, and crafting is pretty fun. It can be a little confusing at first, and that is a small con of the game. It can be confusing to figure out, how do I make metal, what do I need to make that, and what do I need to make the thing that I make metal with. So it can be pretty confusing, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. Now I want to talk to you guys about my actual opinion of this, of the game, and actually get into reviewing the game. So really, I love this game. I think this game is really great. I think it brings a lot of innovation to the survival genre, and I think it's one of my favorite. It probably is my favorite survival game that I've ever played. I'll just go over the things that I really like. I really like how tense the player interaction is, and how every time you run across a player, there's that really tense moment where if I die, they could take all my stuff. Should I kill them, or should I just try to hide and let them pass? It really is exciting, and it's really one of the most fun I've had in a multiplayer game in a while. I love the day and night cycle, and the one thing I love about the day and night cycle is how it gets so dark at night. It's almost impossible to see unless you have like a torch or like a flare. But I think in a lot of games like Skyrim, the dark wasn't dark at all. In the middle of the night you could still see perfectly, so I love how the nighttime gets actually really dark. I love the player housing. This is something I feel is missing in DayZ. I love how you can sort of have a base. I really like how you can build that up and make these awesome houses. Or you could just have a little hut. I really like the player housing. I really think it gives you a place to defend and sort of a feeling of home, and a place that you have to defend your home against zombies or other players, whatever it might be. It really is a rewarding feeling. I think the game feels really rewarding when you it feels really rewarding to start up and really literally have nothing besides a rock and some bandages, and get to the point where you have guns and anti-radiation armor and a huge house. It really feels nice to know that you worked your way up through gathering and looting. It really is a rewarding feeling. I think probably more than DayZ, because once you die you lose everything. In Rust, since the player housing, you can store your stuff there. It really is easy to get to a point where you're not going to get back down to where you're naked in the middle of a field. It really is great to sort of have the rewarding feeling of working your way up and knowing that now you're on the top and you're probably not going to fall down. I think it's really great, and something I love about the game. The map in the game is really great. It's a huge map. Every server, from what I can tell, runs the same map. maybe we'll get more maps in the future. That would be nice. But the map is huge and it doesn't feel constrictive at all. It's on an island, so every border feels really natural. There's a nice, variety of like villages, mountains, meadows. So really a great variety of landscapes, which is really nice. So now I just want to get into the one thing that I don't like about the game. I think getting started can be really frustrating. I played for like 2 hours just trying to get started, and then players would just kill me when they saw me, even though I just had like a rock that they probably got when they spawned in the game, or they did get when they spawned in the game. They might have gotten rid of it, but really there's no use since they had like guns. So it can be frustrating starting out, but once you get started, like I said, you can like gather materials, you get a house, you get guns, and since you can like spawn back at your house and you can store things there, it's not like you're just gonna quickly fall back down. It feels really rewarding, like I said, to work your way up. But it can be frustrating getting to that point. So that's the one thing I don't like about the game. Some servers have like a player kit that you can start out if you type in chat and you'll get some items. Not all servers do that. I think it's just a server thing that the servers choose whether or not to do that. So this game has so much potential, and I'm really excited just to keep playing it and keep being involved in how it develops, which is really cool. If you guys have any ideas for Rust because you've been playing it, go on the Rust forums. There's a section where you can put in your ideas. I've been doing that just because I love the game so much, and I think there's so many improvements that can be made to make the game even better. And I'll be doing a video probably tomorrow or Wednesday, going over my ideas for Rust, my wish list, and also talking about the improvements that they've already said they're gonna make. So let's get into who should buy this game. So I would recommend this game to pretty much anyone. The only person I wouldn't recommend this game to is someone who really doesn't like multiplayer games, but even then you can play on a server alone, and that's what some of my friends do, like I said. But I think the game is really great playing multiplayer, so yeah, I would really recommend this game to anyone. The only person who really shouldn't buy this game at all is someone who doesn't like playing in an alpha, because the alpha does have some problems. I'm sure you can see the gameplay on the screen has some lag in it. There are some, there's not really any glitches from what I can tell. It really doesn't look like a finished product. Some of the player animations are kind of clunky. Some of the graphics are a little off, but hopefully all those will get ironed out, and really this game is just so great. Like I said, so much potential. And it's fun to play alone with other people, so if you like multiplayer games and you don't mind having an alpha, really make sure you pick up this game because it's so fun. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. If you do have Rust and you want to play with me, my username is WhiteFox1225, just like the channel. Just shoot me a message and I'll be really happy to play with you guys. So thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.